blue skies, blue sea.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be talking about Mesut Ozil and why I believe that he hasn't failed at Arsenal, but Arsenal have failed to use Mesut Ozil. We've seen this player have great success at Real Madrid and even at his international side Germany, and I believe that Arsenal are the reason why he has failed. Before I go into the video, I hope you guys remember to subscribe. I've nearly reached 200 subscribers. I've not been getting a lot of views lately, and I hope you guys just remember, if you do enjoy the content, just hit that big button right here. And yeah, and if you guys haven't checked out my other videos, I've done talks about Paul Pogba and Van Dijk and why I believe if they're successful or not. So yeah, so let me just go straight into the video. So the expectations when Mesut Ozil first came in, and I remember all the Arsenal fans were talking in school, yeah, because this is the first time they've signed a world-class player in how many years? Like, I honestly don't remember the last time they signed a world-class player, like. But yeah, it was really surprising when Arsenal finally signed Mesut Ozil for a club record fee of around £40 million, because Arsenal were known as the biggest cheapskates, bro. They were never looking to sign someone who's world-class, who's worth £30 to £40 million at the time. Like, even so, with Luis Suarez, yeah, they bidded £40 million plus £1. You know how offensive that is, yeah? I'm a Liverpool fan, yeah. When Luis Suarez was at our club, yeah, and I saw Arsenal actually have the audacity, the temerity, yeah, to actually come in with a bid of £40 million and £1. Like, did they actually think we're gonna sell him? Did they think we're gonna be like, yeah, that £1, yeah, that £1, we're definitely gonna sell him, yeah? Or need that £1 to sign someone like, was it Virgil van Dijk in the future like we did? Yeah, that £1 came as our saving grace. Ever since the Invincibles, Vieira, Bergkamp, Henry, they all left to go to greater clubs and win greater trophies. And even recently, like players like Cesc Fabregas, Nazari, RVP, Sanya,
Minute 37 seconds later,
Kalichi, Song, like they went into better situations which helped them win trophies which Arsenal never won in the space of 10 years. So when Mesut Ozil first came, it felt like the start of a revolution at that club, yeah, when they actually started signing world-class players. The years of Shamak, Bentler, Denilson, all these jokers were going to leave this club, and Mesut Ozil was going to be the start of this. But yeah, all these Arsenal fans were talking so much within school, man. They really thought that the 10-year drought was going to be over because of this player. And to be honest, I can't blame them, because if I haven't won a trophy in 10 years, I would be trying to get happy over anything which comes out of club. But on a serious note, I feel like what people failed to realise was that he was the start of this revolution at Arsenal. He wasn't going to be like a Sanchez or a player who's literally going to transform the club as soon as he came. He needed the right players and the right system around him to flourish, which I will talk about later on in this video. So the first part, in terms of his performance, I can't lie, I can't defend him. It's probably been like a 4 out of 10. But what it came down to was that he just hasn't been consistent. Like, you know the talent's there, you know he's world class, you know he's as good as players like David Silva, Eriksen, Cesc Fabregas. He's shown it on so many occasions. He can literally pick a pass out when no one else has that vision. He literally has that caliber within his game, but he just doesn't do it on a consistent level. Like, you'll leave the pitch thinking, was he even playing? Was he there? He doesn't have the energy to track back, and he even has that persona where it looks like he just doesn't care about the club. The reason why I feel like it's not Mesut Ozil's fault and it's Arsenal is because they didn't surround him with the right personnel to succeed. We've seen teams like Chelsea who surrounded Fabregas and players like Costa and Hazard to score the goals. We've seen people like Tottenham surround Eriksen with Harry Kane and Dele Alli when he was having a good spell. We've seen players like David Silva be surrounded by world-class talent like Sterling and Aguero up front. Throughout the years, Ozil has had to play with players like Giroud. And not to be funny or anything, I know Giroud is actually a decent player, yeah. I wouldn't say a good player, but he's a decent player, and he showed it in the World Cup. But he's not going to get you 20 to 25 goals a season consistently, is he? And I know you're going to say he's had players like Sanchez and Aubameyang, but this was later on. When Ozil was at his best in his previous years, he was surrounded by no one. And what's undeniable in football is you always need that world-class defensive midfielder behind you so you can do all the attacking responsibility when they cover you. So players like Matic, Fernandinho, Fabinho, Busquets, the list goes on. And Ozil's never had that privilege and that luxury player to cover for him when teams are on a counter-attack. So he's had more pressure to do stuff he's not even good at. So next, I want to talk about the system. And what I believe is that he has not been used in the right system at Arsenal. I feel like Arsenal keep juggling their formations. One day I see it's a 3-4-3. Next day I see it's a 4-3-3. Next season I see it's a 4-2-3-1. They can never get their head sorted on the correct formation under Arsene Wenger, Arsenal Unai Emery. Like, he's always having to adapt to a new system. And when he is played within a system, they usually play him on the wing. Like, I remember the days at Arsene Wenger where they used to play him on the right or the left. And I'm thinking, why are you doing that? You know he doesn't have the energy to track back. You know that's not within his game. But you still ask him to do something like that, which he's not even good at. The thing is with him, he's a luxury player, he's a system player, he's a number 10, and to get the best out of him, you need to play a 4-2-3-1 where he plays as the number 10 and he doesn't have the defensive responsibility of tracking back, and he has two solid CDMs behind him so they can do all the defensive work for him. So this gives him the time, the space, the energy to create for the likes of Aubameyang, Sanchez when they were in their prime. But yeah, as I was saying, he is a number 10 and he's nothing else. He's not a number 8. He's not a box-to-box midfielder. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's not a winger. You have to play him in that number 10 role. We saw the best success he had was under Mourinho when they played the 4-2-3-1 system. I don't even know what I was doing here. But when they're playing a 4-2-3-1 system at Real Madrid, when they played counter-attacking football, where they allowed him to be the cam, and then they had Ronaldo, they had Benzema up front, they had all the players around him, and they had that defensive midfielder, Khedira, to cover for him when it came to counter-attacks. And we've even seen it for his international side, Germany, where I believe he was either the first or second most important reason why they won the World Cup, when they had Schweinsteiger and Khedira behind him, and they had the likes of Müller, Götze around him as well, scoring the goals. And that's the thing, you have to surround this player with the right personnel. The best season Ozil had was in the 2015-16 season, where Arsenal still should have won the league. I don't know how Leicester won it, but that was the season where Man City, Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham were all terrible. Maybe not Tottenham, but the other 3 or 4 teams were terrible. And I don't understand how Arsenal didn't win it. It was just typical Arsenal fashion, wasn't it? But that's the only season you surrounded Ozil with the right personnel. You had a decent defence, yeah, with Koscielny, Bellerin, Monreal. You had 2 CDMs, yeah, Cazorla, the passing midfielder, and you had Coquelin to help him defend, yeah. Then you had the wingers with Sanchez and Ramsey. Ramsey, not his natural position, but you know he was a workman who was always going to run down that wing up and down to help the fullbacks when to track the runners. You had a decent striker, Giroud, but you still had enough goals within that system because of Sanchez and Ramsey, who are definitely goal threats. And what did Ozil get? He got up to 19 assists that season, who led the league in assists. This shows if you built a nice system around Ozil, you would have had a lot more success than you've had already. And it didn't help Ozil that he had a naive, defensive-minded manager, Wenger, who never prepared on the big games when it came to going to Old Trafford, the Etihad, Anfield. He always wanted to play expansive, attacking football.
You know, he is a specialist in failure.
What I will say is that I definitely feel like Ozil has failed to adapt in a modern game where the number 10 has become ineffective. But players like David Silva, Eriksen, those two especially, they've been playing in a 4-2-3-1 system like 5 or 6 years ago. But because the game has changed so much and teams want to play a 4-3-3 with 2 box-to-box players and a holding midfielder right behind them, and literally that's why they cannot play in that number 10 where they don't have the responsibility to defend. But the thing with Ozil, he hasn't adapted to this change, whereas players like David Silva, who was a number 10, one of the best number 10s this Premier League has ever seen, he has had to adapt and play in a 4-3-3 under Pep Guardiola. We've even seen it under Pochettino when he was manager at Spurs, that Eriksen had to adapt from a 4-2-3-1, where he had all the time on the ball, no defensive responsibility, to transform to a 4-3-3 where he had to do a lot of running back and forth. But Ozil has failed to adapt within the system because he just doesn't have the workman mentality. So what I'd rate his time within the system he's played in is probably a 3 or 4 out of 10 because it's Arsenal's fault. They have not used the right system and they kept changing it as well, which did not help Ozil settle into a consistent formation. In terms of what he's won, when it comes to trophies, I'm quite generous, I can't lie. And he has won 3 FA Cups and he has helped Arsenal end their 10-year trophy drought. Those are the best years of my life, I can't even lie. When every single year you see Arsenal flop, especially 2010 against Birmingham, when Martin scored that goal to make it 2-1 and tapped Koscielny on the head. What an iconic picture. He actually did that. He actually did that, innit? He actually tapped Koscielny on the head. But yeah, like when that happened, And then every single year, these Arsenal fans would be gas saying, yeah, this year we're going to win this, we're going to win that. And then every season, it just did not happen. I know Arsenal are still in the banter years, but the banter years when every single season, when all they were known as a top 4 side and never winning trophies, Ozil did help end that when they won the FA Cup against Hull City when they came back from 2-0 to 3-2, I believe. But yeah, he has been successful there. And trophies are trophies. He has helped Arsenal top Man United to having the most FA Cups in FA Cup history with 12, and Man United have 11 now. So yeah, that has been a great success for Mesut Ozil. If you compared Spurs' last 10 years compared to Arsenal's last 10 years, and Spurs may have been more consistent in the league, Arsenal have won more trophies, man. So if you'd say to me, would you rather have Eriksen's career or Ozil's career, even though Eriksen has performed so much better, it's been so blatant, yeah. But Ozil has those medals. I know Spurs were doing well under Pochettino and that, but I was just like what success?
Possibly the height of their success.
What success?
Like, what is it to brag about? Like, as a Spurs fan, what medals do you have to show? And if you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. And if you disagree, because I know there will be a lot of Arsenal fans who've had it tough, which I will never understand. Thank God I'll never understand the pain. Like, if you guys are angry or feel like, you know, what I've been saying is utter crap, just let me know in the comments. And I honestly, I actually want to know, because you guys probably know your club better than I do. Peace out. See you in the next video.